Excuse me. So my name is James Armour and I'm unemployed. The Selkie is a 307-kilometre adventure race across the Scottish Outer Hebrides. It starts at the Barrowhead Lighthouse at the southern end of the Outer Hebrides and crosses over all of the archipelago of islands up to the Butt of Lewis Lighthouse at the northern end. The Selkie stands for the mythological Norse Gaelic seal creatures that used to come onto land and shed off their seal skin and walk around as humans. And I took inspiration from this because it's the culture of the Outer Hebrides, it's the Norse Gaelic roots, and it's quite like what I'm going to be doing for my race. I'm going to be coming onto land, getting back in the water, coming onto land. There's 6 different swims and 6 different running sections. I'm going to be on the bike twice. So really I felt that I was recreating what the Selkie used to do. Having the Hebridean Whale and Dolphin Trust team turn up on the Silurian to support me for the Barra crossing was a welcome boost, as was being accompanied by Colin MacLeod for the swim. His profound understanding and love for the Outer Hebrides was infectious, and helped to distract me from the strong current pushing me off course.
My name's Colin Smith MacLeod and I'm a janitor at Point Primary School. The reason I got into open water swimming was I'd always been like a pool swimmer, and then back in 2011, almost 10 years ago, a couple of friends and myself got together to see about doing some like a relay fundraiser, and then the following year we went on successfully to do the Liverpool to Stornoway ferry route, and that was about 60 miles. It took us about a day and a half, and that raised about 23 grand for the RNLI. On that Liverpool to Stornoway one, we're all keen to get our first swim done. It was like swimming along, doing front crawl, looking down, and there was a seal on its back, like looking up. So as I was swimming along, looking down, the seal was on its back, like eyeballing me. And this went on for about 5-10 minutes. And I was like, this is so bizarre, like, you know. I don't know what the seal thought. Like, I was looking up at me, probably, who is this guy?
The more I heard stories about these fascinating animals, the more my initial fear turned to wonder at their natural curiosity. These seals are perfectly adapted for this environment, something Colin knows is essential for survival.
Well, dealing with the cold and hazards and such, like, you know, you do like risk assessments before. With cold, I eat more chips, you know, more takeaways. As my mum says, blubber helps, you know. But, you know, there was one swim I did, it was like in 2018, it was the big munch. For Norman and myself, there was one boat and one kayaker. Nothing wrong with the support, but there just wasn't enough, you know, for, you know, to go between 2 people. So about 15 hours in, Norman was lagging a bit behind me, and I was like needing some food, and the yacht went to get the kayaker over to me, but the kayaker couldn't see me, and the boat, you know, like they all headed on shore, and so I was left on my own for about 4 or 5 hours in the dark. So I carried on swimming, you know. It's like, well, going through my head is like, it's either I'm going to be here or I have to get there, you know, so I have to get there to survive, you know. And then the helicopter, so I was shouting at the boats, but, you know, with waves, noise, you know, it's like, and it's all pitch black. You can see the light of the lighthouse beaming away. And then the helicopter came out, and I was like, with a tow float, which is lit up like a Christmas tree, and the helicopter came over, and then it went away. And I was like, oh man, they didn't see me. And then it came round again, so maybe with the old blubber, a bit of body heat somehow, even after all that time. The helicopter came round, and was up with the tow float again, and then the searchlight came down. I was like, yes. Then a boat zipped over, And he said, Colin, your time's up. I'm like, oh, but in reality, I was like, yay. So that was like, yeah, that was a close one. I was lucky to be alive on that.
Colin's story was a stark reminder of just how brutal the ocean can be, and it illuminated my insignificance in her vast bottomless depths. It brought me so much comfort having Colin's support on this 10-kilometre stretch, giving me the energy I needed to push on against the strong tidal current.
Being an islander, especially from Outer Hebrides, means everything to me. You know, they're so picturesque, even in the harsh weather. You know, it's great. But in the summertime, like a day like today, you know, especially if there's no midges about, you know, it's a fantastic place to be.
Where's Colin? Yeah. You hear me? Mate, that current was... I was just so annoyed. I was so annoyed. Honestly, for like, it felt like 40 minutes. I was just like, kept looking up. The same wee house was just there. I was like, nope, I'm just going to go straight in. And then the current just like pushed me back. I was like, so just sprinted for 10 minutes, like all out.
And it came on there.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Good.
How are you doing? You're good.
So nice of you to such good crack.
But no, it was common because our surveys are always really random. So when we looked this morning about where to go, we hadn't surveyed any of the Outer Hebrides yet. So we were like, hold on, we could go down to Barra and see. It's nice to come and say thanks in person. Actually, yeah.
As I embarked on the 100-kilometre cycle through the night, the hypnotic rhythm of pedalling allowed my mind to drift to the unique wildlife that calls this drowned landscape home. Not that we saw much in the dark, though.
My name is Claire Bird and I work for the RSPB out here. I am warden for South Uist and Barra. Been out in the Uists for 3 years now. Came here for holidays for 6 or 7 years before that, and it got to the point that every time we had time off work, every time we had a long weekend, we would like, how can we get out there? Can we run away to Uist? I think the best things about being out here are the place is amazing. You've got hills and things relatively close. You've got huge amounts of beach to go and visit. It's a very natural place still. I mean, much though it's crofted and it's managed, it still appears to be very natural. And the people are really friendly. Everybody's really helpful. Everybody's really nice. You know, you'll notice as you drive along the roads, everybody waves, and it's just the done thing that everybody waves at every car as they go around. It's lovely. It's almost quite a nurturing place. Everybody's so helpful, and you know, if you've got a problem or if you've got something you want to sort out, then people will help. Since I started, I've been learning an awful lot about birds. I've worked in the countryside for the last 30 odd years, but my world has always been quite general nature, and now it's a lot more bird centric. So I've been learning a lot about birds. A lot of my time over the last few weeks has been doing corncrake surveys, which happen between midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's when the males return to their specific territories and stand and call, shouting in the ladies. So we've been doing a lot of that and trying to plot them on maps and keep an idea of population. The Hebrides are really important for corncrakes. They're sort of one of the last strongholds. Outer Hebrides and Inner Hebrides and the west coast of Scotland, they are realistically the sort of best places left for corncrakes. And a lot of it's down to the management, the land management and the crofting and farming practices out here. It's the intensification for farming that really doesn't help the corncrakes. They like a bit of long grass, and if fields and things are getting cut from the outside in, then the corncrakes get left in that little bit in the middle and they hide, they don't run away. So if you're then mowing that last little bit that's left in the middle, then chances are that there are corncrakes left in it. So we request and we actually work with crofters out here and give some incentive payments and things for them to farm in a more corncrake friendly fashion, because you know, over the years, everybody's been pushed to intensify and, bigger, better, faster, more. And it is, we need more. We need to feed the population, but out here we also need to maintain corn creek populations. Otherwise, there'll be none of these birds left. The Machair is an incredibly important environment. It's quite a small percentage of environment, certainly in world terms. The Machair is made up of shell sand, so it's not geological sand. It's not broken down bits of stone like most other sand is. It's actually broken down bits of shell, so it's really high in sort of calcium and high in lime and things like that. And as it blows up off the shore and catches on the Machair, it kind of raises the Machair land as well, and puts good minerals and things down into the Machair. And also the years of having been fed with seaweed collected from the sea, from the shores, when it gets washed up, mainly over the winter, but even at this time of year, if there are storms and things out to sea, you'll notice a lot of the beaches have got seaweed deposits on them at this time of year. And the farmers will collect that, leave it, crofters will collect that and leave it sitting on the shore, get some of the salt rained off it, and then they'll spread it out onto the Machair. And that helps to put organic matter down into the soil, but also helps to, it's almost like creates a bit of sort of stickiness, so that it helps to keep the sand where it is as well. And they're very rich habitats, very diverse, but it's also a really important habitat internationally. I think nature plays a really important role in my life. I've never been that far away from nature. Yeah, lots of walks, lots of time in space and space outdoors. And I don't know, I've never had to try and survive without it. It'd be interesting to see what happened to me if I did, because it's always just been there. Whether it be a 10 or 15 minute walk from home to get to somewhere wild enough, and now, 2 minutes and I can be on the seashore. It's great. I think with the protection of nature and wildlife, there are a lot of people working towards common goals, and I think that's nationally as well as out here. Everybody's appreciating that green tourism is a good thing. We get lots of people out here, and they're not just here to cycle from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom, depending on which order they've decided to do it in. They are here to, stop and relax themselves. I think with the whole pandemic thing, there's been a big view on the fact that nature is good. It's good for your mental health, it's good for your physical health. And I think a lot of people are concentrating on that kind of thing. We've got so much nature out here in a relatively small space that's easy to find and easy to watch. There's so much history, there's so much geology, there's ruins of black houses and old settlements and things all over the place. There's grass and heather and beautiful wildflowers in the Machair and, up onto the mountain tops. And when the heather comes out, the whole place smells like honey, and it's just, it's an amazing place to be. But I think we need to let other people know it's there, but also let other people know how to sustainably visit it and how to visit in a good way. We've got it and it's brilliant, and we want people to come and visit it, but we want it to still be in a really good condition when they leave.
Unfortunately, I was one of those people who was cycling from the bottom to the top of Uist. After a quick sleep, we were back on the bike by 4 a.m. The light of dawn glinted through the distant mountains of Harris as I cycled towards my biggest test yet. At the start of this journey, I set out to discover more about this place, but I also wanted to push myself. I wanted to test my physical and mental limits to see what I was actually capable of. As I stood on the beach, staring across at that 10-kilometre stretch of water between me and Harris, I just felt scared and completely alone. I was exhausted, but as always, the sea remained agnostic to the plight of those foolish or brave enough to enter it. I started to wonder which category I really fell into.